Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matthew Darius. I'm the Professional Development Coordinator for New York ASBO, and I'll be moderating today's call. I want to get a few housekeeping items out of the way before we get into the main content. We encourage you to ask questions at any time, and by any time we mean as soon as they come up, please let us know. The easiest way to ask your question is to use the questions pane on your GoToWebinar control panel. It's typically located on the right-hand side of your screen. If you don't see it, you should see a little orange arrow. Go ahead and click that. It'll maximize the control panel. You can type your question right in there. I'll then break in and ask our presenter your question. We'll get it answered for you. And again, we encourage you to ask it at any time. If you get disconnected from the webinar, just log right back in using the details in your email, and you'll jump right back in. If anyone would like a recording, it will be made available on School Business Connect later this afternoon. Well, now this way, I'm going to turn it over. All yours, Steve.
Thank you very much, Matthew. My name is Stephen Mango. I work for Johnson Controls with their Integrated Demand Resources Group. I'd like to quickly today run through some demand response programs which some of you may be familiar with, I'd first like to thank the New York State Association of School Business Officials for putting this webinar together. NYSASBO has partnered with Municipal Electric and Gas Alliance MEGA to offer energy supplies and services to NYSASBO members. Johnson Controls services that I will describe are being offered to school districts throughout the state as a result of a public bid conducted by MEGA and St. Lawrence County. The MEGA bid was conducted a few months ago in partnership with St. Lawrence County. Following state law, the county approved a piggybacking resolution that allows all municipalities and school districts in the state to take advantage of the agreement reached as a result of the public bid. Therefore, districts interested in considering JCI services don't need to do their own bid or procurement. I'd like to briefly give you an overview of Johnson Controls. Several of you may have some familiarity with our company. We are specifically known for our operational service and maintenance teams throughout the state of New York. We probably have in excess of 35 offices throughout the state, from downstate to upstate, with boots on the ground virtually everywhere. As we speak, I'm just finished a presentation with Schoharie Community College, which is where I'm doing this webinar from. And as an example, many of you who I'm going to be speaking with going forward have some familiarity and actually have Johnson Controls in their facilities. Let's see if I can get this to move forward. There we go. Johnson Controls, we are a leader in integrated demand resources and the demand response industry. For the most part, we serve our customers in a host of utility territories and individual ISOs. We're here in New York, PJM, California, Texas, Florida. We have a strong market presence here in the state of New York, and as many of you may know, New York at this moment is exploding with respect to demand response and escalating pricing that's being proposed by the NYSO and the utilities. Our company is Integrated Demand Resources is a division within building efficiency at Johnson Controls, and we, for the most part, are probably the leader in serving building efficiency needs of our customers globally. As you can see, we're a $14 billion company. Soon, we just recently actually had merged with Tyco, so we're going to be a much bigger company going forward. So when you deal with Johnson Controls on any your needs, you'll find that we are a force to be reckoned with from a financial perspective. A little bit about what we're here to try and discuss: demand response. I don't know, since I can't really speak with anyone directly. I don't know if anyone has any direct experience with demand response programs or not. If I get a little too simplistic, please bear with me. I'd like to distinguish what it is, and some people aren't quite certain that they understand the difference between demand response and energy efficiency. And the genesis of demand response was from a utility perspective, where we have a static supply of electricity and increasing demand, which has caused our utilities and our state entities to manage the supply that they have online in times of stress and peak periods. There has been, several years ago, efforts to remunerate and encourage people to, the largest users actually, in the utilities, to assist in periods of peak demand by committing load that if an event does get called by the utility, they will shed that committed load and be incentivized for it. The remuneration for the commitment of shedding load, should an event actually be called, is paid to a participant, whether the event is called or not, just for being on standby. So in other words, for any of your facilities, if it's determined after an engineering study that you can or you choose to nominate a curtailment of, say, a half a megawatt or a megawatt, if called upon in a peak period of time, as those events are predicted but not called, you get paid for them anyway. You're on standby all the time. For many of you, you're going to be in different parts of the state of New York. This is a control area, a zone map, which basically shows, and this is very rather crude, but it really does make the point. It gives you an idea of where you are in the state and what your zone is. Many of you know not only what your zone is, you know who your suppliers are, etc., obviously. Incentives vary greatly depending upon where you are in the state, and as we go further after the call and sit down to take a look at some of the incentives and how they vary throughout the state, you may wish you could pick your building up and take it to Manhattan, because they are paying extraordinary amounts of money for opportunities that will commit to reduce during these peak periods. In the upper parts of New York, which is where most of you are, they are a little bit behind the times from a utility perspective, but catching up very, very quickly. The impetus for them to catch up is that this program has, and you may attest to it, has been extremely effective. The program itself and the number of users who are actually doing what they say they're going to commit have eliminated brownouts and blackouts for probably almost 3 years, and you all probably have an idea of that. This is just an overview, and not to get too granular, because it's extremely complex in terms of how things change from zone to zone. But this is a New York City incentive program detail. Now, This may make you a little jealous because your numbers aren't going to be the same, but there are 3 programs in New York. There's the NYSO SCR program, which is a spot strip auction program where they will remunerate for the load that you commit $15 a kW per month. Con Edison is a utility program. There are 3. This is the state program, SCR. It's a wholesale state program. These are the utility programs. Upstate, the utilities have not participated in some cases not at all, even today, but they are coming online fast and changing from week to week. The seasons, there are 2 seasons for demand response. There's a summer season and a winter season. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't. The summer season goes from May to October, and the winter season goes from November to April. There are different rules for enrolling in the programs, but for the most part, the summer is May to September, and winter is November to April. So if you're going to participate or you intend to participate after an engineering assessment, you would want to participate for the full season, enroll before May for the summer, and enroll before November for the winter. The mechanism, I'm going to try and make it. Let me jump to events, and then I'll talk a little bit about how we determine baselines and test events and whatnot. For the most part, there are 1 to 4 average season call events in the NYSO program, and 2, maybe 3 at the most of the CSRP program in Con Edison, which means, in layman's terms, that it is a 4-hour length of an event. Depending upon the program, the advance notification may change. You'll see here that it's a 21-hour notification for the SCR program. There's a 24-hour notification for the Con Ed CSRP program, and a 2-hour notification for DLRP, which is emergency. Basically, how the system, how it works is Johnson Controls. You'll have Johnson Controls come into your facility. We will perform an energy assessment for the most part and determine exactly what your baseline is. And your baseline is a mathematical algorithm of the past 2 years of highest peak loads for the 2 seasons, and we will do an assessment to define a curtailment protocol and a curtailment strategy for your facility in order to facilitate a curtailment lower than the previous CBL, and that is that's the calculus for your incentive. How much you can shed or curtail, more than shed. Shed is a little bit different. How much you can curtail from your average CBL of the past 2 years. We find that there are a number of strategies that we can employ for our customers, depending on their appetite. We're very, very good at it, as we are controls manufacturers. We manufacture one of the top building management systems and building automation control systems for your buildings. Probably many of you may have our systems in your facilities at present, but it really doesn't make a difference whose BMS you use. We are experts at automating these processes if required, and if it is something that you choose to do. There is always a blended manual and automation piece to these curtailment strategies, and we work together with our customers to determine what exactly they have an appetite for, and how they'd like to how much they'd like to curtail. Our coverage, again, just to repeat a little bit, we are in 13 states in PJM. We're doing, at this point, we're up to 1 gigawatt of peak demand. We're very, very significant in New York and NYSO and Con Edison, Texas, California, Washington, D.C. So if you have facilities, and in this case, most of the verticals that we're talking about here don't have needs, but if you have needs outside of the territories of New York, we can serve them well. Our forte is that we have our local account management and engineering support in place already here in New York. So as required, above and beyond basic assessment for emergency service or whatnot, we are ready to handle your needs. We have a dedicated engineering team that performs site audits and prepare that curtailment strategy for you in conjunction with your facility managers. We have our account management team will support at all levels the intermediary interaction between the utility and the participant. In other words, the utility will, once you enroll in a program, contact Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls will reach out to our customer base, let them know that a possible event is called, let's just say tomorrow between 3 and 6 or something like that. You would, and we would help you to go through the strategies that we have in place and prepare to initiate the protocols that we have in place. However, should the event not actually be called, once again, you will be remunerated. You will be remunerated for it. But we take care of all of the heavy lifting from the operational aspects and the administrative aspects of signing you up to the program, from the intermediary aspects of dealing with the utility itself and having the utility deal with you on the emergency basis. We will contact you as we decide mutually, whether it be in one particular form or all, through internet, through email, through text, through cell phones, through, we'll contact as many people as you require to alert them of a potential event. There are other incentives available which are outside of the DR programs that I've just discussed, and some of them are with NYSERDA, for example. And NYSERDA has programs, including DR enablement programs, which you can see: chiller, HVAC, BMS control incentives, battery storage, thermal storage. There is a host, and these numbers are changing as well rather rapidly. There are a host of incentives which are also available to you to be able to apply towards your demand response efforts. If you needed some BMS control work, we would help you to apply for those incentives with funding and funds from your DR program revenue. We are very big in, at this particular moment, in battery storage, and I'll get into that a little bit. We're a leader at this point in distributed energy storage at present. We serve a large customer base, which most of you may know most of some of these customers here. And one of the interesting things that we do above and beyond our competition, which is probably one of several things that distinguish us from the landscape, and have had Mega and St. Lawrence County choose us, is A, price, and also Blue Money. This is something that we do that no one else does do, and it is a very, very powerful tool.
What we will do is, we feel so confident about our ability to perform in this arena and our ability to accurately assess your engineering performance for your facilities that we will basically take a snapshot of, say, 12 months or the summer period, call it, of incentives that you are slated to receive from your curtailment. And if it is something that you would like to do, we will advance fund up to half of that total incentive for you to use in any form that you like. If there's something that, you know, in terms of your facility gives you heartburn every day and you don't have a budget for it, this is the way to solve that. If it's an upgrade to a chiller or maybe even some distributed energy storage for some of your renewables projects, this is the way to do it. It's a very, very powerful tool. There is no financing there is no financing here. We will basically advance fund the money to our customers, and we will wait to get paid, not the other way around. There are a host of improvements that we can offer that are specific to our expertise in building automation and controls, and one of them is on the software side. We have a product that we have developed called Grid Connect. Grid Connect is a software-based program which is specifically designed to be able to take a snapshot, a real-time snapshot for you, the customer, of what your performance looks like before, during, and after an event. So there is no need for you to assume that you have followed the protocols that we both put in place together and assume that you may not be performing as we had anticipated with our energy assessment. This tool will show you exactly real-time what your snapshot and load is and whether you're performing to the levels you expect, or in many cases you perform in excess of the levels that you've nominated. It's a good time for me to point out that if during these events you perform better than anticipated, there are additional revenues that will be added to your incentive for performance, additional performance. Again, these are standby programs where this utility of this system is only when events are called, and we haven't had an event called up here in a good 2+3 years. So, but it's an excellent tool for anybody that wants to see what their system is, what their facility is doing in real time. At this point, my name is Steve Mango. Once again, I would like to invite you to send over any questions to Matthew, and if they are questions that are specific to your facility, I would like to come and meet with you and have a conversation. There's no obligation nor fees, of course, with any of these programs. These programs are designed to incentivize you for performance, and that is simply it. So, does anyone have any questions at this time?
All right, thank you, Steve. Go ahead and type your questions into the questions and answer pane, and we'll get those answered for you. All right, we have a question from Kim. She'd like to know, do you have any published case studies to share with us?
Not on this call, but I have. We are actively, hundreds. To be honest, I can. If she would give you her contact information, I can send it to her privately after the call, We're engaging a number of municipalities up throughout the state of New York as we speak. To reiterate, we just really started partnering with Mega and St. Lawrence upstate here since late November, and we have we're in the process of enrolling several counties, airports, school systems throughout the state of New York. I have plenty to give you.
Okay. Kim, his email is right up on the screen if you want to go ahead and shoot him an email with your request. It sounds like he'd be glad to send it over to you. Otherwise,
Sure.
Kim, you have my email address. Go ahead and shoot me an email and I'll connect you too. All right. There are no more questions on the board. So, Steve, I'd like to thank you very much for presenting for us today, and thank you all for attending. Like I said before, if you'd like to review this information, I'll be posting on School Business Connect later today. And we've got a couple upcoming things you might be interested in. We have an electronic open auctions for new issue municipal bonds webinar coming up on March 8th. We have a Microsoft Word to Google Docs webinar coming up on the 15th. And we have a Medicaid webinar coming up on the 29th. So please check out our website, nyasbo.org, for more information. Steve, thank you again. Everyone have a great day.